Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and another video. In this video we have another PS5 which has a 1 second blue light of death issue.
For your Xbox and PlayStation repairs, visit consoletherapy.com.
So as I say, this PS5, let's give it some power. And then once we press the power button, if you watch over here for the blue light, comes on with the blue light and then powers off after 1 second. Right, so I think this one has already been opened. Yes, it has. Warranty seal is broken. There's a little label which is missing from there as well. So let's get this one opened. We'll get all the initial casing off and then start testing. Right, so let's pop off this cover, and then what we're going to do is quickly just check for some voltages around the top half of this board. So we need to get our multimeter up on the screen. We will add some power. And then we'll come in with our multimeter probes. We'll put our black probe anywhere on ground and then start buzzing around the board. So down here we should have 12 volts. Yep, we do. Up here we should have 5 volts. Yep, we do. Up here, the top pin of the third transistor down, we should have 3.3. Yes, we do. That's good. Now let's check some of the other voltages. Over here we should have 5 volts. And that's either side of F7002. Yes, we do. Let's just check along here for voltages. We should have 5 volts there. Yes, we do. Down here, we should have 2 volts. 1.9, that's close enough. Down here, we should have 2 volts. Yep, over here, we should have 5 volts. Yep, and then, as I say, there should be 12 volts. So all the standby voltages certainly look to be there. So I think next steps is let's get the motherboard taken out and then we can start testing the other side as well. Right, with our motherboard removed, right, so we've proved the fact that we've got all of the standby voltages. Now on this side of the motherboard, this is a EDM010 and it's the first edition PS5 because it's got that thermal pad around it. The later models didn't come with that. So with the motherboard on this side, what we're going to do is have our meter in continuity mode and just buzz around to see if we can find any short circuits. So with our black probe anywhere on ground, anywhere on the copper, we're just going to buzz around, right? So we've got it in continuity mode, so that's the mode that beeps when you push the probes together. So that will help us identify if there's any short circuits. Now, we're just going to buzz around some of the capacitors. Now, one side of the capacitor will beep because it should be on ground. The other side of the capacitor shouldn't beep because that's positive. So that's ground, that's positive. On these caps, that's good. Up here, we've got the power for the USB. So that side should beep, that side shouldn't, which is good. Check these caps around by this power MOSFET around here. Good, only one side beeping as well. While we're up here, we're just going to check behind the Wi-Fi IC for these caps. Again, one side should beep, the other side shouldn't. If you find a cap that beeps both sides, then you've got a bit of a problem as long as it is not by the APU. And what I mean by that is some of the caps near the APU will short both sides, and that's intentional. So that's ensuring that the APU is essentially grounded until there's power on the board and protecting the APU. So that is intentional. Another common area is down here by these power rails. So let's just quickly buzz those through as well. So this one here, that should beep, that shouldn't beep, that shouldn't beep. There we go. So we've got a short there on both sides. So let me just zoom you in a little bit so you can see where I am. So down here by these power rails next to the actual main power connector. So as I say, this coil here, that shouldn't beep, but it is beeping. So this bank of smoothing capacitors, one of those capacitors or maybe a few of those capacitors are actually blown or shorted. So we need to find out which one. Now the easiest way to do that is we can inject some voltage to this area and just keep it a small little bit of voltage, right? So I'm going to inject just 1 volt. So I am going to put the bench power supply ground on there on the clip, and then I'm going to come in, and I've literally got my bench power supply, and this is just 1 volt running through this, so very low, and then come in with my thermal camera to help me try and identify the cap that is blown. So I'm going to come in and put my power supply probe just here, right, and then come in, and you can see that heat spot immediately, right? So I've just removed the probe, the heat spot goes, add the probe back in, keeps coming back on, right? So if I just zoom in a little bit, I can see that is the cap which is closest to the coil. Probably you can't pick that up on camera, but I can see that. So it's essentially this cap right next to the coil, which is shorted. Right, so let's get that one replaced. Right, here we are under the microscope. Now, as I just mentioned, it is this cap here, which is closest to the coil, which is shorting. These 3 look okay. So to make our life easier, what we're going to do, we're going to just come in with just a tiny little bit of flux. We are going to add some leaded solder to each side of the cap. Like so. Then we're going to come in with our heat gun and then remove the cap. So my heat gun is set to 450 degrees. Remove that cap, and then we're going to come in with our probes again. Meter's still in continuity mode, and we're just going to check to see if the short is gone. Yes, it has. So the short is gone. That side should beep, this side shouldn't beep, and it's not beeping anymore, which is great. So we're going to replace that capacitor with a capacitor from a donor board. Now, as we have already got leaded solder on there, we can simply just come in with a little bit of flux, come in with our soldering iron, just gently tack our replacement capacitor in place. Right, and then come in with our hot air, make it do a little dance and get it into the correct position. Like so, and let's just quickly double check our short is still gone. So multimeter is still in continuity mode. Yep, still gone. That side should beep, which is good. Good. Short still gone. Right, so let's clean up the whole area, and then what we'll do is put the PS5 back together and give everything a test. Right, that's everything put back together. Let's give it some power and then see if we stay powered on. There you go, get the blue light, and that is staying on, and that should eventually go to a white light. So there you go, There you go, white light. There you go, just a real quick video to show you how to fix a 1 second blue light of death issue on a PlayStation 5. That capacitor, or those bank of capacitors, it's quite a common fault when you see a 1 second blue light of death. So after checking the initial voltage, it's probably best just to go and quickly check there's not a short there on that bank of caps, because as I say, it is quite a common fault. You'll see many 1 second blue lights of death, and it is just those capacitors. So thanks very much for watching the video. Really appreciate your view. Hope you found the video useful. If you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. We are posting videos every Sunday now, so really do appreciate if you subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It really does help us out. So just literally 1 or 2 clicks of a mouse view really does help us out. So appreciate it if you can do that. Anyhow, thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. See you again soon.